somebody from my online community, our free mastermind, asked this question about, is this a good business model? And I absolutely think that because now I have the knowledge, I have the know-how and the skill set, and I coach people on this on a regular basis, and people do pay me well over $8,000 in order to solve this exact type of problem. The least I can do is give context behind my answer. Definitely hope that you get value out of it. If by the end of this video, you know for a fact that I am somebody that would most likely be able to help you, or something that I say resonates, I want to encourage very strongly that you would outreach to me, or you would absolutely join our free Facebook group community. You results, get you to take action, help you feel not alone in this entrepreneurial journey. So let me just share my screen and we can get into it. This is a question that was asked by Wally inside of our community. His question says, I would make 100K in 6 months by selling hybrid customized solutions to my clients based on my expertise. Would that be a good business model? Is this a good business model? And the short answer to that is, like anything could technically be a good business model, right? If you have a way to monetize it and you have an audience. I teach you how to make 100K in 6 months or less, for example. And then maybe there's some version of a risk reversal or a guarantee. After that, if you don't, we XYZ to help you, right? That's a good offer. Is that a good business model? Yes, it's a good offer. The business model is slightly different, right? The mechanism and all of those things that kind of come together. The vehicle, okay, the method, the vehicle, the process. You mentioned hybrid customized solutions. I don't quite know what that means, but I also need it in context, right? So just on the surface, is that good? That it's a hybrid, maybe it's like one-on-one plus group coaching, or maybe you mean something else, maybe it means software, etc. Like, without going into further detail where you're not able to respond to me, I have to also say possibly, right? You're mentioning this here where everything is customized, right? We're giving you a solution that's based on your needs and fit for you. The thing I'm not certain about is your avatar. Is this person a starter, like a person who's at the beginning of their journey, just starting out, and ultimately either has lack of predictability, lack of systems, doesn't understand how to track, maybe not a solid offer that they have sold and validated, etc.? Or is this a person who maybe they're a little bit further along in their journey and ultimately has at least 3 to 10 clients, right? And is getting a minimum of 1 to 3 clients on their own without you. Good, I think, is subjective. Everything can be good, but what we're looking for is something that's ultimately going to be great. I understand the concept that you are sharing here. I'm not quite sure exactly if you mean I train this type of person and I also have a course about this other thing that solves this other problem, etc. But in general, if your offer solves different problems on the journey and it helps your ideal client arrive to one main destination or somewhere on that linear timeline, then I would say it's probably still a good business model. It's probably a good fit. And also, you're already monetizing it, you're already getting clients. So clearly, yes, you are in fact in business, right? Now, the only concern I have before I go into the math component, your perception that the market is tricky. I think that this can be something you want to be a little bit careful about, simply pushing that belief any further or perpetuating any misconception that just because, yes, in fact, we may indeed, just like it says in the headlines, be in a global recession, it doesn't mean that there aren't people who are profiting from it, right? Or that you wouldn't be able to be a person who would, in fact, be able to use this good quality business model and profit massively. Therein, it becomes a great quality business model. Making some general assumptions, I help, and then here we would have your avatar, right? So if it's, let's say, entrepreneurs or course creators or physical fitness trainers or whoever that is. So this underlying section is in fact for your avatar, and there needs to be some element of specificity about who they are, how they identify, whether they're ambitious, they're struggling, they're whatever the label is that matches the language they're actively using, and or niche, or the problem that they all have in common. So this is the outcome, this is the timeline, this is the vehicle. Common practice at this point, in the industry, in the online consulting and coaching space. And let's say you, instead of talking about the method or the vehicle which these words put together, especially if you're targeting a person who's a beginner, it might not really resonate as well. And so this is the good versus great, aspect of the equation that I was talking about a second ago. You may instead benefit more heavily from talking about what they don't need to do. What is the thing that they hate, that they don't enjoy, that isn't part of your method, part of your process? Definitely is something I've easily seen, even my own clients in the past that I've coached, to sell anywhere between somewhere between 1.5 to 2K at least as a starting baseline, all the way up to like 6K, 5K, 6K. So theoretically, let's say that here's the math. Let's say that you're selling this solution to your prospective buyers for, on the low end, let's say 3K conservatively, right? And let's say by yourself, you're getting about 8 clients per month. 3K times 8 units, okay? Which leads us to at least a 20K plus revenue a month. I can already tell you this is good quality. But the concern here becomes, if we want to go from good to great, if we want to take your offer that is sort of selling and amplify that drastically and turn it into something that is just going to crush it across the board. And instead of we're focused on, this 24K per month revenue, now instead we're going to be at, let's say 40K plus. I'm going to emphasize what would need to shift a little bit. The what do we change becomes the language and or the pain point. So we are no longer focused on being like everyone else. We are no longer focused on selling a commoditized service. Now we're leaving room instead for adding monthly recurring revenue. We're leaving room to increase, taking care of our own infrastructure, our back end, adding or increasing lifetime value. Like there is so much space and opportunity to develop or build more leverage and turn this good business model into something massively great. Let's say you have the offer be 5 or 6K. In this case, I'm just going to say 5K. All right. Now, you selling that offer, that solution at 5K with the same number of people, 8 units, this now becomes a 40K per month offer. Just the one thing. So I heard earlier you said not obsessed with, just one offer because I want to be able to be flexible. The market is, I need to adapt, etc. But this is the power of one. And it all comes down to knowing your audience, being solid and specific with that avatar, confident around that priority, that specificity regarding the one offer. So by no means am I knocking, hey, I have this other offer, I have this other solution, I have this other thing that complements the first offer, or it's something else on the back end, whatever it is that's also adding to stack cash flow, adding to your bottom line. I fully support that. But I think it's important to recognize the way we frame things for ourselves and the offer, the solution that we are bringing to market, and the outcome that we're helping our clients ultimately achieve is the demarker of whether or not something is good or if something is great. If you're interested in exploring how and if potentially working together one-on-one in our VIP program can be a benefit to you, or maybe you're looking to join into our Facebook group community, I would love to invite you in there. Thanks again for checking this out.